Hey guys, you're listening to the Your Party People podcast. This is Lexi Tran, owner of Ivory and Fern, a Midwest space photographer.
And this is Katie Murphy, owner of Jane Ray Events, your Midwest wedding planner. We're here to give you couples a guide on how to maneuver one of the best days of their lives and how to keep it from being one of the worst. Welcome to the party.
Woo woo! Hey guys, we're back again. Welcome to the party. Last time we gave you some ideas about how to remember your loved ones on your big day. Today we are going to talk about winter weddings.
Yes.
So excited. But before we talk about that, your national day today is National Vanilla Cupcake Day. Love a nice classic cupcake. We do have a favorite from Oh My Cupcakes. We don't have one here today, but you should run, not walk to Oh My Cupcakes to get one, like right now.
Yes, they're so delicious.
Yes.
And I particularly love the vanilla one, Pleasantville or something with the blue frosting. Yes, that's my
so
favorite.
Good.
Favorite. So a little intro to the topic today, winter weddings. Well, being in South Dakota, we have a lot of opportunity to have those, although they're not always very popular. And we're here today to tell you some tips and ideas to make them more popular because they can be stunning. The faux fur coats, the evergreen fragrance, the ruby red colors. I mean, there's so much opportunity with that, and to have that different color palette too with the year. Another perk too is some vendors have that off-season pricing, which helps. Weddings are very expensive, as we all know, and we have talked about plenty of times on here. And so anywhere you can save a little bit, that's always great.
Your vendors are going to love that you're having a winter wedding. Just remember, your vendors want to work in the winter.
Lexi, why don't you start us off with tip number 1, and then we'll start with tips today, and then we're going to go into ideas after our session with Ashley.
So tip number 1. Pack extra attire for all those outdoor photos. So don't feel like if you want to take some outside, don't feel like you have to wear your heels outside. Bring your Uggs, bring your boots, bring whatever you need to feel comfortable outside, and do those shoots. Bring blankets, bring coats. I would just pack a tub full of all of that stuff and have a personal attendant ready to hand those out to you guys for your party or things like that. The faux fur, those are always super fun. Keep you and your girls warm. They add so much texture to photo and video too. They look so good, and they just they tone down the winter snow, how white it is and how bright it is. It's really nice contrast. But pack that tub.
Yeah, it takes a little bit extra prep work, but you want to be comfortable too. The day's already, there's a lot going on and everything, and so bring those elements in just for function, but they add a little extra to the photos, which is fun. Tip number 2, your bouquet. So obviously here in South Dakota, we can get to a negative 40 feel, freeze off your face feeling. So it's a good thing to keep in mind with your bouquet to possibly have 2. If it's in the budget, have one, maybe a smaller one for outdoor photos, and then have your main one for the inside ceremony and the reception, putting at the head table. And another, instead of having 2 fresh, you could have one be silk and then your main one be fresh. Yeah. Just because if you get below 30 for longer than 10 minutes, it's going to kill your flowers right away. And they turn brown, they shrivel up. Now, not all of them do that, but sometimes, now if we're talking negative 10 feel, it'll take less than 5 minutes and they'll shrivel up. So, and photos obviously start early in the day.
Yeah.
So you don't want that to happen to your bouquet right away, and then
right, and then
you
just don't have one.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's a good idea.
So something to keep in mind.
Look at that. Coming in with tips that I didn't even know. Tip number 3, extra travel time. So if your wedding is going to be in more than one place, it's becoming really popular to have an all-in-one kind of spot. But if you are coming from a church to a reception venue or whatever it is, account for that extra time. Make sure you reach out to whatever relative has the best winter vehicle and ask to borrow that for the day. Really give a lot of buffers in your timeline. If you have a planner, talk to your planner and really make sure that you make that a priority, that you want to get places safely. You don't want to feel rushed. You don't want to end up in a fender bender or an accident just because you were running behind 10, 15 minutes. The weather is crazy. but like maybe even like to when you're flipping or things like that, to ask like for shuttles from like wherever you're staying, if they do anything like that. That's always a really good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a great idea. And the extra travel time too, just in case you drive like a 9-year-old grandma like me in the snow. I'm the person that everybody's passing and everything on the street. And that's it's just the worst thing you would want, I mean, to happen is somebody crash on the way to the cocktail hour.
Right.
So keeping that in mind. Next tip for you guys is keeping your guests comfortable. So have things like having a coat check when people come to either the church, usually they always have one anyways, but at the reception. Right. Having a spot for all the coats. It just gets kind of messy hanging it on the chairs and all this stuff on the table already. Right. So having a spot for those. Another one, which I think would be really fun, is when people get there, have a signature drink that's like a hot drink.
Love that.
It could be like a hot cocoa bar or a hot chocolate bar, something like that. Or it could be, there's tons of like alcoholic hot drinks that you could serve right away too as people come in. And then it really
makes it feel like Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's nothing better than like warming yourself up with something hot. It like warms the body quick, and it feels like a cozy little welcome when you come in.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. I love that. That's such a good idea. I feel like you should just do that naturally.
Yeah.
Tip number 5, photo timing. So if you live here in the Midwest, if you're local to Sioux Falls, you know that in the winter, the sun goes down here like at noon.
Okay.
I mean, not in actual time, but the sun sets super early here. Or during the summer, we're blessed with no really big hills or anything, so we get that sun until like 9:30 some nights. But during the winter, it is the total opposite. That sun will set by like 6 p.m. So whoever your photographer, videographer, or your planner is, make sure that's one of the first questions you ask during the winter is, when is sunset? Like, when should we be doing our photos? When should we be doing our video? Because it's going to drastically change your afternoon for your timeline, because it's just going to get so dark so quick.
Yeah, I mean, even like in the dead of winter, it starts to go down at 4:30.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
That early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So just keeping that in mind because it's so beautiful to have those sunset photos, right?
Yes.
As a photographer.
Yes, it is. I mean, like, so your portraits during the day are always super exciting, but like, as Tommy and I would say, the juicy stuff, that comes with the sunset. Like, that beam of light that everyone puts on their Pinterest board, that is sunset. And so you do kind of have to sacrifice a little bit to like risk getting those shots. And so that's kind of what comes along with planning that part of the day.
Yeah, definitely worth it though.
Yes,
those are the ones you'll frame and put on your wall in the house.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to transfer over to some ideas, but before we do that, we're going to hear from our girl Ashley with This or That. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Ashley with This or That, and today we're talking about boudoir photos. Whether to do them, whether to not do them. I think the most important part of deciding whether this is something that you want to incorporate in some way on your wedding day is to make sure that that's something that your spouse is interested in. You don't want to waste the time and money if it's something that maybe they might not appreciate. But most people would appreciate it. So you can either do your boudoir photos ahead of time and have a book pre-made and have that be a gift that you give to your spouse on your wedding day, or you can talk to your photographer about incorporating that into your timeline and do a little pre-wedding day boudoir photo shoot, which is a really fun way to just loosen up before your wedding day and kind of engage with your photographer in that way. There are some photographers who do it and some don't, so make sure that you're touching base with someone who has the experience and is going to make you feel comfortable.
Thank you so much, Ashley. She's so great with that, this or that. Love her tips. Coming back in, let's talk about what the ideas for winter weddings.
Yes, so we kind of gave you guys some tips, like some general things we think would be great for winter weddings, but now we're going to kind of dive deeper into each one and kind of give you an idea of what each of those mean. So when we talked about tips of like those different items you can bring, we really mean to just embrace that winter style. Like, take that winter theme and just run with it. Now, I don't mean like print off like Olaf cutouts and like put them all over your wedding, but I mean like really like look at the deep, rich colors that come with winter and embrace like that texture that comes with winter, right? So like velvet, I love velvet. Bridesmaid dresses in velvet add so much texture. It's great, it's beautiful. blankets, having blankets like cozy up in your reception space to even like just bring your blanket ladder from home and like decorate it and have some different ideas with that. Velvet ties and pocket squares are really popular. Shawls like the fur faux, we talked about those. Cute footwear. Now, I have had a few winter brides that insist on wearing fuzzy Crocs. You know, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Embrace it. But there are a lot of different ways you can incorporate like cute footwear into winter.
Wait, fuzzy Crocs?
So it's a Croc, but the inside is like fuzzy, like an Ugg.
Oh, I thought you meant like the outside too. I'm like, wow, that is a look.
It's the traditional Croc on the outside, and the inside is fuzzy like an Ugg boot. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be comfy.
I know. I
Cute.
still think you would get snow all over them, but you know, if it keeps your feet warm, that's all you.
Yeah, cute, I don't know, but comfy, yes. Our next idea, so I think a lot of people, why people don't want winter weddings, I mean, other than the cold, but is because they don't want like holiday. They're nervous that it's going to look like a Christmas party or a holiday party,
Right.
you know? So the idea to do wintry, there's a difference between wintry and holiday. So you don't need the ornaments. You don't need ornaments on the garland, on the tables, or even on the trees.
Leave them at home.
Yes, leave them at home. They're for your tree in the corner at home by the fire. But you can do like evergreens and really go with those ruby reds, and that's wintry to me. Or like the silver and blue hues. That's really pretty, and that really gets you away from like to holiday or Christmas party. Also, so lights are really fun, like twinkly lights to make it more winter feeling, but I wouldn't go actual Christmas lights.
Right.
Like there are tons, like we have like bistro lights or they're like really small twinkle lights kind of thing. So, and that says more like cozy winter versus I'm decorating my Christmas tree.
Right.
And the metallics are really fun.
Love
like
that.
bring in the cool silvers and even cool golds instead of keeping it really warm. Like this is where you can really play on more of the shiny metallics, and it looks so good with the evergreens and complements it really well.
So good. I love that.
Yeah.
Idea number 3, winter inspired gifts, which is so fun, you guys. I feel like I struggled so hard in the fall of like what gift to give my guests. So things you could do in the winter that would be so fun are mittens. Have your grandma get them crochet needles out, and she is going to knit you 300 pairs of mittens, okay? I mean, be nice to her and help her, but mittens would be so fun. Those hot chocolate bombs, those were super trending this last year, those cocoa bombs. Those would be super fun to like wrap and put on each place.
Tell us more about those. What are those?
So it's literally like a chocolate ball, like hard chocolate, and you put it into a steaming, like you put it in a mug, and then you pour like steamed milk over it, and it melts it and turns it into like a hot cocoa. And it was trending this like past holiday season, and now they're just like, you can buy them I'm pretty sure Costco even sells like buckets of them during the holiday season now because they're so fun and they're so easy. And who doesn't like to watch a dessert melt into something that they can drink? Do you know what I mean? Like people love that. We also could say coats, scarves, shawls, flannels for your bridesmaids. You know, like you don't have to do the traditional silk robe. Do like flannels and like have them bring their favorite pair of leggings or like oversized sweaters, like big crew necks, that kind of thing. Like really take the opportunity to like let people be cozy.
Yeah. That and I thought like slippers too would be fun.
Fun.
For
That
getting
would be
ready,
so
like
fun.
warm winter slippers.
Yes.
That would be a
Absolutely.
fun gift for them too. Our last idea today I want to talk to you about is really bring on the cozy feel for your guests, for your wedding party, for everybody. Like we talked about before with the tips, like the hot drinks coming in, like a signature warm cinnamon infused cocktail of some kind.
Yum.
Tons of candlelight because obviously winter brings on the sunset and the darkness super soon. So having the place lit up with candles, twinkle lights in the ceiling and the backdrops is a great idea.
Yes.
Venue, when you're thinking of your venue for winter weddings, the wood and stone is like a really good idea to think about, because that just says cozy. That says
absolutely.
warmth,
Yes.
like the light with that, just it says, so I'm just gonna bundle up here and keep drinking and party.
Absolutely. Literally.
And another idea would be having like a seating area where you can like cozy some velvet furniture
Yes.
and cozy up with the hot drinks. And,
So
that's just,
fun.
thinking of those types of things to just bring warmth to the room, because since it's so cold outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I know. It just makes me want to like cozy up and throw a good party right now.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to go do that right now. Actually, I'm going to plan my second wedding for the winter. So with that, thank you for listening today, you guys. And we will see you at the next party.
Yes, thank you. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Your Party People podcast. If you already love us, make sure to come back to the party every other Wednesday.
If you really love us, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at It's Your Party People Podcast. And make sure to let us know your thoughts on the show and if you have any topics you want us to cover in a future episode. DM us on Instagram or email us at yourpartypeoplepodcast@gmail.com, and maybe we'll give you a shout out on the next episode. See you at the next party.
Bye.